Joining us now, a BYU quarterback that has a winning record against Power 5 teams. Also the last QB to finish the season ranked at BYU. Riley Nelson in studio. Riley, nice to have you here.
Good to be here, fellas. I've been on, this is my first time live in studio. I've been called in a couple times.
What took so long, Riley?
Yeah. It's that drive, No, I'm kidding.
Hey, a tweet from @StillTeamRiley. That is his Twitter handle.
Met him in person. Great guy.
Yeah,
Great dude, right?
Photo, I think, of the Notre Dame game, right?
Yeah, sent in a photo of his son today saying, Jackson's ready to watch number 13 today on BYU Sports Nation. So they're dialed in, man.
Hey, guys. Good to see you out there.
All right, let's start with our Twitter question today, Riley. And this is a loaded one. How would you define the legacy of Taysom Hill?
I would define it as one of a kind, truly. I have a hard time, whether it's pro sports, college sports, comparing against eras. And so I personally don't get caught up in the totem pole or, I'll maybe do a Mount Rushmore because you can kind of group four together. But it's really hard to place him in the all-time if you're asking me to place him. But as far as him on the merits of his play, he was truly one of a kind. The kind of athlete, we haven't seen that before, play quarterback here at BYU. And to be quite honest, I mean, does he still hold the single game quarterback rushing record in the NCAA, which is a national and all-time accomplishment? And then he was a 4-year starter, and he competed against more top-level Power 5 ranked, opponents, the majority of whom were on the road, than any other quarterback at BYU. And so it's really hard to kind of compare resumes. I've heard some people try and want to, I don't know if tarnish is the word, but say that he didn't have 10 wins drug him down. He didn't finish ranked drug him down. The being hurt for bowl games and things like that. But we shouldn't focus on the things that he wasn't, but focus on the things that he was, and that was truly a transcendental player.
He's unique, regardless of how you want to categorize him. He was unique because at a place that was defined by passing quarterbacks, there was no one like him here, right? You were his teammate in 2012. He was a freshman. He got hurt. He started a couple games. What was he like as a freshman that made you think, hey, this guy's a little different?
The athleticism was the first thing you knew about him because he got off the plane from his mission and power clean like 315 pounds. No joke. I'd been here in the weight. I shouldn't say like right off. That was our first time testing maxes, which would have been at the end of summer. So he had a summer of workouts. But regardless, I've got 4 or 5 years of Coach Omer's weight program under my belt, and I hit 315. And I'm pumped, and I'm chest bumping everyone, and he goes over there and hits it. Then he hits I think like 325, and then I think he did 330, and then they shut him down just because you didn't want to risk it. But and then we go out and do our conditioning test, which was a beast back then. It was I'll describe it for you in detail a little bit later. And he won that of all the players. It was him and Danny Sorensen and Sky Pove were the 3 top finishers with him coming in first. So that was the first thing that did it. And then just from the standpoint that he was humble, wanted to learn, was wide-eyed and a sponge trying to take up in anything. And that's why he had the success in those 2 starts as a freshman, and I think that laid the foundation for his great career.
And people forget, too, he came in the Washington State game on a 4th down, and his first play was a passing touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
For 18 yards.
Yeah, it was 4th and 2. He was supposed to, it was wide open for runner pass, which I got in those kind of situations with Max, and I was just like, don't screw it up. Just get the first down. And sure enough, he had the ball tucked and was, easy on the 4th down conversion, but had the awareness to get his eyes up, and Kane Kuafrio was wide open in the end zone. Little toss in there. Yeah, fun first play.
Yeah.
Talking about Taysom Hill with Riley Nelson, they were teammates in 2012, quarterbacks obviously at BYU. He was asked to do something that I think is perhaps underrated in terms of challenges, and that is, with a new staff, take on a new pro-style offense after he had been doing the same thing for essentially 4 years. And I know that he only played in 1 game in 2015, but it was still the offense that Taysom Hill was supposed to run. Now he's supposed to run something brand new under Ty Detmer. 8-4, numbers haven't been as high as, let's say, fans have wanted, or even Taysom. What do you think about what he's done this year in the new pro-style offense under Ty Detmer?
I thought he did great. I felt like the philosophy from day one, you look at that Arizona game, establishing the run, I felt like that the current staff and Coach Detmer and Coach Sataki believe that BYU at its core is a physical, high-executing football team, and that perhaps when we went to go fast, go hard, like so many other programs across college football, you lose that. Because when you go up-tempo and fast-paced, you are not counting on your own execution. You're trying to get as many plays in, counting on defensive attrition. In other words, that if you run enough plays, they'll make enough mistakes that'll lead to you winning the game. And obviously, spreading teams out and not running straight at them or establishing the run is not a physical. It's more of a speed-based than a physicality-based. So I felt like that was the intent. If they were to accomplish one thing this year, it was that, to establish a high-executed offensive football team that is based on execution, and I think they accomplished it. I'm excited moving forward to see the next building blocks, which I believe a little bit more nuanced passing game, a little bit more complicated. I also think that we'll probably get in some spread sets and do some quarterback check with me's. In other words, kind of go out there, have the quick game at your disposal or the real base package and just try and find completions. But that requires a coordinator and a quarterback that have been together for multiple years. So probably towards the end of next year and then maybe into Tanner's senior year, we'll start seeing some of that stuff. That's what I expect. But to answer your question about this season in particular, I give it an A, maybe a B plus, because we lost a couple of close games that we probably should have won.
Hey, me academically, B plus. I would have taken
Right?
that, man. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. Taysom Hill kept a lot of plays alive that probably would have been dead with an immobile quarterback. What did he do maybe this year against this Power 5 schedule that maybe kept BYU in the game where maybe they wouldn't have been in the game had he not been there?
One of the things that, and we ran a lot of the same run schemes, and Brandon Doman was brought up. He was coached by Lavelle Edwards up until his senior year with Coach Croton. So the same philosophies that Detmer had, Coach Doman was raised in, and he instilled those when I played with him or under him in 2011, 2012. And probably one of the most underrated things that Taysom Hill did was his run checks, where you come up, you read the front, you have a run called, but it can go to the right or to the left, and it's all based upon the defensive tilt and the strength and the alignment of the front. And him setting us relative in the majority of games, we were putting ourselves in good third down situations that allowed him to then use his legs and use his ability to move the chains by extending plays. So probably a two-factor thing, really being efficient in the first and second down check with me game, and then also doing what we've seen him do his whole career here, and that's pick up that first down when we need to by whatever means necessary.
Tanner Mangum will make the start for BYU in the Poinsettia Bowl on December 21st. You've seen him play in the spread offense last year and a little bit in the pro-style offense. He's going to have all of the snaps for 3 weeks. He'll have Jamal Williams with him. What's a reasonable expectation for Tanner Mangum in the bowl game in about 3 weeks?
Honestly, knowing Tanner and watching him the little bit that we've got to watch him this year, I expect him to pick up where he left off last year. And I know when he got in first against SUU, there was – it's so funny. You love the fact that BYU fans are so dialed in and have such high expectations because as a player, you aspire to those. But people maybe made a little bit, at least – his first couple series, probably blew that a little bit too much out of proportion. But I expect to see out of Tanner, we'll pick up where we saw last year, and with his first touchdown pass. I loved his first touchdown pass because it reminded me of last year, which is Tanner not known for being a mobile guy, but he is very mobile because that touchdown, he extended the play and threw an absolute dart towards the sideline. I mean, that defender was right on. Who caught that? Was it Colby or was it Moreno?
Colby Pearson.
Colby, yeah. Mm-hmm. Colby was right there, and, he put it away from the defender, but still in bounds, allowed Colby to tiptoe the touchdown, and I expect to see more of that. So, 2-3 touchdowns, completing 60 to 65% and keep turnovers down. That's fully what I expect out of Tanner.
I expect the same quarterback rating. He was 1 for 1, 5 yards, touchdown, 472.
Yeah.
472 was the quarterback
The
rating.
pattern of efficiency.
It was nuclear. Yeah.
Hey, Riley, it's great to talk to you. We need to do this again
thanks for coming
soon.
to the studio, man.
Hey,
It's
we're
great.
gonna do it. I got myself a new high efficient, fuel efficient car.
Okay.
now
So
you
the
can
drive
make the
down
trek
now
Okay.
financially
Yeah.
it makes sense. Before, no, I'm just kidding.
Great stuff. Thanks, Riley.